Hey guys, we'll get started in just a minute. AR, why don't you try talking?
Talk, 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 talk. That's
De-
better.
Dev, why don't you try talking?
I may disappear spontaneously at some point, but just ignore me in that case.
I could swear we heard a second voice behind you, Dev.
I did too. I definitely heard
Okay,
another.
that's probably just an echo on my. I'm between two monitors right now.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird. It was like there's like a second person talking. Okay, so you guys ready to go?
Yep.
I'll take the silence from AR as yes.
Yeah, I was taking my taking another puff there.
Okay.
Clear the throat. Okay.
I assume someone was like hearing my dog groaning loudly in the background.
Nope. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, run with the will.
I'm Mayor Pulver, and I just spent the last 10 minutes looking over Hunter's fanfiction for one of the questions we had submitted.
I'm WtW, and I spend way too much time on Wikimon, and yet again, not enough.
Yeah. We're all like down for the count today. This is officially like the sicky, screwed up, everyone's dead episode.
This is the hangover from Saturday.
Yeah, and the fun part is I remember us having the conversations like, this can't possibly go for more than like 90 minutes at most. And then 2.5 hours later.
Yeah. There was a lot to talk about in that movie.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
It's one of those things where you almost think of the movie as slow moving, but so much does happen, even at those slow moments, we just kind of kept going. And
there are implications to the things that happen in the movie.
And I should point this out. This will be spoiler-free, but this will be the last episode where we attempt to dance around stuff. So a few questions didn't make it in specifically because they're Kazuna-based. They will show up in the future. That's your fair warning from here on out. So spoiler-free here.
Starting next week. Yeah, next week we're going to scream Dumbledore dies.
I can't remember the name. Hans Gruber dies. There. I remembered Hans, but I couldn't remember Gruber.
You'd expect Hans Gruber to die, though. Is that really a spoiler?
I've seen people complain they don't want to hear anything about Leomon for the new show because they assume it's a spoiler.
Well, they're kind of shit out of luck.
New episode is Howl I can't say it. AR, you say it.
Jyuoken.
There you go. Fist of the Beast King. Let's go ahead and translate that. We do what some random translator at Toei will not.
I don't understand why they didn't.
No,
either. And why did they translate that as howl and not roar?
I didn't even think about
that.
I was just so squarely focused on the Jyuoken.
I thought of that one, and I decided to just ignore it because you learn to pick your battles sometimes, and I'm focused on the untranslated attack that we've had a proper translation for 20 plus years, rather than that. So it's a good episode. Hooray!
Was it? I mean, it was fine, I guess.
Boo.
I'm still like, it's not, I mean, there's a lot to enjoy in this episode. I'm just like, after the previous one, I'm just like, okay, this show's not really impressing me with anything anymore.
AR, you're not allowed to complain about stormtroopers anymore.
I think I'm justified in complaining about stormtroopers.
No,
it was really bad stormtrooper action.
I think at some point when it's made clear that's what the show's doing, there is a point that's what the show's doing.
Well, of course that's what the show's doing, but it's so egregious. Yeah. And is that what the first thing we want to talk about is the stormtrooper action?
There's not really.
That's the only thing I want to talk about is the stormtrooper.
That's all you want to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the important thing. Leomon's back. It's Harada playing him. He sounds. It's hard to comment on Harada anytime he does show up acting because he's kind of perfect every time, no matter what voice he's doing.
Yeah, it's like I hear it. It's like it's Leomon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And Leomon was really the best thing about the episode.
It was. The weird thing is it's there's so often story twists and stuff. I kept wondering if there's going to be some twist where he doesn't trust them or something, and it's just nope, it's Leomon, and I kind of like that, to be honest. That it's just complexity.
There's a very innocent virtue with
Yes.
Leomon, and it translates anytime he shows up. That
Yeah.
he's not going to be anything deep or suspicious or anything like that. He knows these are the chosen kids. He trusts the chosen kids. He's in awe of the fact that he's with the
them,
chosen
yeah.
kids, and that's all there is about that. He's going to be a good guy, barring some sort of strange corruption.
Yeah, and that's
The furry fanboy.
And he's a Final Fantasy character. He has his little team that goes on raids. They have chocobos.
Yeah, I like the chocobo action.
Yeah,
I think having the teams around, like Spotamon and Falcomon didn't do a whole lot, but just the fact that he had them made it feel like it was an actual resistance movement.
Yeah,
they had their chocobos. You can get a sense of their battle tactics, that they're very, guerrilla, get in, get out, get your hits in. That all flowed very nicely.
Yeah, and we had Yamato being a tsundere asking about Nemon.
It was precious.
I actually liked the little bit of follow-up to go, yeah, they're okay. I kind of like that.
That was good. No, that was good.
Because very often in anime you won't get follow-up, or if you do, it's a body later.
Very often in this anime you won't get follow-up. That's like the only thing they did follow up on in this time.
And half the time you won't get a body because they don't last very long.
But yeah, so Yamato, Taichi, Agumon, and Gabumon are alone in the desert. And with Leomon and gang, the rest...
That sounds like the opening to a fanfic right there.
AR, we know you're very excited about one of the questions later, but you have to wait for it.
Okay, I'll be good.
Yeah. And then the rest of the gang is in the real world. Their Digimon aren't there. And a very small twist that I liked that it didn't occur to me that it would happen was Hikari kind of joining up with them. Because at least personally, I was so focused on, we're going to have Takaru shortly. It didn't occur to me that, she's not in the digital world and the rest of them aren't. And you can kind of have her join up in at least a little way.
Yeah, it's appreciated, but like them in the real world is sort of what I mean by I don't trust what this show is really doing anymore after the disappointment of the last arc, because there's all sorts of great possibilities you can have with them in the real world, and Hikari getting to know the rest of the team. I just don't trust the rest of the show to use that as an excuse to not show them for the next 5 episodes and just focus on Taichi and Yamato.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust it or not, because part of the issue is, and we'll get into those descriptions later, is people take the plot descriptions a little hyper literally.
See, I don't read them, so that's why I'm.
Yeah, so I'm curious.
It works well. It works well for me.
So I'm curious. I'm curious to see what pops up with them, because I actually really like that. The problem is that material skews very hard to what I watch in my own time, anyways, which is characters sort of standing around talking. And it's just nice and relaxing. But they actually have...
That would be fantastic. The show never does it.
Yeah.
And I don't expect them to. And until they do, I can't look forward to that.
And there may be a third group, which I didn't quite expect, if I'm being honest. Because the Digimon aren't there.
Yeah,
not
the Digimon...
Too surprised. Well, look around the first set of episodes where after they dealt with Armagemon and everything, what the fuck is it, Algomon? Taichi probably thought he was tripping balls because hey, where's the giant lizard I was chilling with? There's nowhere in sight.
Yeah, and we finally get a Joe joke that actually really works and makes sense because of what the character is.
And that's the thing. It works. It makes sense. Absolutely, Joe should be doing that.
Yeah.
And you're kind of frustrated that the police aren't taking it seriously.
But they never were going to.
Oh, of course not. But
yeah.
it still feels like the show's making fun of Joe, even though Joe is completely making sense here.
Yes, it's the opposite of... It's one of those things where if they didn't have the occasional stupid moment with Joe, this would have probably landed better in general, I think. The only reason it doesn't land perfectly is because you have stuff like... Was it 2 episodes ago where they did that stupid blowaway gag, and I still don't know why.
This is it goes along with what I mean, is where the show is becoming harder and harder to trust the writing. So even jokes that should work are starting to not.
On the plus side, AR, your joke's ruined. Because now it is Team Taichi and Team Sora. They've stolen your joke from you.
I don't remember that. Oh, in the...
Yeah, where you kept referring to the other team as Team Sora.
That was because Mimi actually did refer to them as Team Sora at one point.
But you were doing that before.
I don't... Oh, was I? I don't remember that.
Sure,
Probably.
Poor AR, he's forgetting his own jokes.
It wasn't a joke if I did it.
You definitely said it as a joke a few times. I'm 100% sure that we were like, haha, Team Sora.
I'll take your word for it. Anyway.
Then we get Leomon and Team Rushing. I never remember what the damn Digimon's name is.
Ekmon?
No, the base, the walking.
Valvemon.
Valvemon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, I keep thinking it was something else, and I don't know why.
Well, I know in like the Digimon World series games, they translate as like Bulbmon.
Okay, that's why, because that's the name that I keep trying to remember. They rush that. We get Leomon guarding their back from the Stormtrooper fire. CAR, they did something with it. Not enough, but they did something.
They don't take it. Yeah, Taichi and Yamato don't actually think they're going to get hit until they're actually surrounded with, the moment where they would have been hit if it weren't for the obvious intervention that was going to happen.
And then we get the continued good and interesting use of strategy regarding where they are, where Garurumon evolves and Greymon doesn't because there isn't really the space for him. So we get Agumon riding on Garurumon, basically being a gun emplacement, which I don't know why I liked so much.
Because it's fun.
Yeah. And then we get Leomon fighting Minotaurmon. It was a nice looking fight. I just don't remember much about it. It was kind of dually, I guess I would put it.
It was more like manly punching each other.
Yeah. Although I did like the end of it, which is him doing the exact same attack with Shin in front of it and then pointing out that he has 2 hands.
It was so corny, but it's Leomon and it kind of worked. That's basically the whole battle in a nutshell.
Yeah. And my favorite...
It's kind of... Like I'm kind of glad that they toned it down a little bit to go down to someone like Minotaurmon, who you just look at and he's toast. After the last couple episodes, it's just hard to take things seriously anymore.
Oh, I took it perfectly seriously. Although oddly, I don't remember much of any of the Bullmon fight, to be honest.
That's because it's beginning. It's like just the same old from Taichi and Yamato. Like it's not that they're not doing interesting things. It's just that you just
Leomon's more interesting.
You just get acclimated to it so much. Yamato giving Taichi these silent looks and Taichi going, "Okay, I know what I have to do now." This has been happening throughout the series, and it's just kind of samey.
This isn't Atmon though. And then we get Takaru in a tube. Do we have
that was either totally predictable or totally unpredictable, depending on how much you caught from the moment in the last episode.
A lot of people seemingly caught nothing because I saw multiple people in the last couple of days on Twitter upset that Takaru's just in the digital world without any hint that it had happened. And it's like, no, they definitely told us he was in there.
It was subtle. I missed it the first time I watched the episode, and then caught it later, looking at stuff and going, "Oh, hey, that was a thing." Yeah. But so no, I don't blame people for missing that at all. But it very lightly.
I have to be I have to be honest. I can understand missing him not being in the rest of the episode. I don't understand how you missed the digital effect, to be honest.
Totally missed the digital effect.
And I should clarify, me saying that it's 100% honest for me, but also I tend to forget that, oh yes, my job is to notice things in anime. That is my job. So it's my job to...
It's absolutely fair to miss that.
That
said, it's fine either way. Because it's a very gentle... Like, it's something that, if you caught it, you're ready for something to happen. If you don't catch it, it's a wonderful surprise. And it works either way.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any problem
with that. You always go back afterwards and go, oh, hey, so that was the thing.
Yeah. No, but that's all I meant. Like, I understand people missing things. It's just hard for me to miss things like that myself. And part of that's because I get paid to notice it.
Yeah,
so it is unfair.
Yeah, it's a clue. You're either gonna catch it or you miss it, and your reaction is going to be different to that scene either way. But both reactions are valid.
Yeah, and Devimon actually talks a bit more this time, and plot has begun theoretically.
I mean, plot's theoretically been going on the whole time, and this is just another continuation of it. But it's moving.
No, I mean where we're being told actual details, and it's not necessarily set up stuff anymore. We're getting told actual details of what may be going on. It's just a matter of how much we're being told. Devimon wants to something evolution. They didn't really clarify that part, but
yeah, it still feels like setup to me. Except
it is. It's just different setup, is what I mean.
Yeah, except the part where he has Angemon captive. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, especially the next episode preview suggests things with that, but we'll let people find that on their own. I like the episode. It wasn't none of this stuff ever is perfect, but I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. The problem is, and I think what AR's issue is the context of before and wondering what they're going to do next kind of harms it.
I'm at the point where the show needs to prove it can pay off on a lot of these developments, because there were a lot of nice developments in this episode. There was a lot to enjoy in this episode, but until the show can prove that it's going to do something with these developments in a satisfying way, I'm not sold anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. And next time we get to see the 7th one awakens with Takaru doing stuff and being awake.
Good for him.
Yep. And then
I'm kind of happy to see
that hat.
Some of the Digimon appearing.
I like to see the hat.
That's so ugly.
I like how they gave him the same weird puffball hat thing. Which
is I guess it's iconic. And Takeru does have to be wearing a hat. It's in his contract.
Yeah. And then we won't go over the descriptions, but we'll go over the episode titles that we got some early. So episode 21 is the Counter Update Armed Evolution. Episode 22 is the Unyielding Blue Sagittarius. And episode 23 is Devimon Messenger of Darkness. Which I think, was that the same title as episode 8 or 9 last time? I think we've had that episode title.
Let me check.
Give us the fake English translations of those while you're looking it up.
See, I will go and find that while Dev looks up, because I actually want to see what it is.
I actually should have both here.
Oh, did you actually save and write it down?
Messenger of Darkness, Devimon.
Oh, they actually did a real one? Yep. Oh wait, no, that's the real episode. What's the junk one that Toei used?
Evil shows his face.
Oh, that's the same as the dub title then.
Yeah, because
it is for like the dub. That is the dub title.
Oh no, we're talking about the horrible junk English titles.
Oh, those ones. Ah, crap! I don't have the link to that one on hand.
Okay, whatever. Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
And we didn't bring up who we actually saw in the episode, which is worth mentioning. It's Skull
Should we
Knightmon.
mention it?
Well, he's in the episode.
Yeah, he was in Silhouette.
Like
there were a lot of.
But to be fair,
there were a lot of silhouette.
Yeah, but
Digimon in this episode, which is why I keep associating that all of Devimon stuff with setup more than actual development.
In the background,
they're setting up a bunch of cool Digimon to show up.
In the background, I've secretly been finding the thread with the DVD titles, and you'll be disappointed. Devimon Messenger of Darkness. Good, they got one right, apparently, on this box set. That's the only one.
No, there were a few that were close enough that close enough that we wouldn't make fun of them.
Yeah,
like,
but
we were picking
we were dying
ones.
Yes,
so yeah,
we were all cackling.
About half of them were fine.
Yeah. So, do we have anything else to say about this episode?
I'm surprised Leomon's still alive by the end of it.
I'm not surprised. I hope he at least sticks around for a few episodes.
Here's what I would say. I would say Leomon's appearance shows that I don't think the fans could handle him actually being just a character and not dying, because people are losing their absolute shit trying to make jokes about it, and not good jokes either. My
joke was okay.
I don't remember your joke.
You retweeted my episode slug, so
I retweet your episode slug every week. I'm kind.
It worked in Leomon dying joke and a Stormtrooper joke. It weaved them together.
Hey, I'll have you know, the episode title's a Leomon joke for our episode this time.
Okay.
I'm
just saying.
You'll see it. You'll see
a Leomon dying joke weaved in with a Stormtrooper joke. That's craftsmanship.
You'll see the episode title when it goes up, and then you will message me going, "You're fucking lazy," when you see that joke. So moving.
Is it also a survive joke?
No. It could be, but it's not. I decided that'd be too easy, to be honest.
You're just going in. This is the episode where Leomon survives.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to the next category. We brought it up last week, the day before. 20th anniversary of Digimon, the movie happened. Truly a beloved piece of pop culture. And do we have anything to say about the movie? Minus that the poster's terrible and I love it.
Soundtrack is basically an encapsulation of the 90s.
It's even better. It's the year it's specifically the year 2000 encapsulated. It's yeah.
And if you haven't,
it's just like as much as we rag on the actual composition of the movie.
Oh, I don't rag on it at all. I think it makes perfect sense for what the goal was.
It is a delightful hot mess, and we all enjoy it.
And it improves movie 3 immensely, mostly because it's done.
It does improve movie 3, and I still gave it an F.
Oh fuck! And of course the most amusing part of the 20th anniversary being last Tuesday was that's when the Blu-ray and DVD for Kizuna came out, which. Could we get with random delays due to coronavirus? Could we get a better gift than it actually being on the 20th anniversary?
It's just funny because there's so many articles going up about Kizuna that are going up at the same time as retrospective pieces about the 20th anniversary of the movie. I'm often confused about which movie they're talking about until I click on the headline.
And here's my favorite part. A lot of them are well thought out, and also a lot of them are just kind of trash clickbait nonsense. And no matter how much effort's been put into it, I don't believe I've seen a single one actually notice that it's the same day. And I don't know why that amuses me. Because some of them are like, well-researched, well thought out. Someone's clearly done and knows stuff, whether they are a fan or whether they did research. And somehow it completely skipped everyone that is not us, that it was actually the anniversary of the movie while they're writing multiple articles about it.
Pro tip, any article that talks about why anything proves that Digimon is better than Pokemon is a crap article. That's my hot take.
I feel like it's still a clickbait title.
That is a clickbait title.
I don't even retweet. I never retweet those ever.
It is just anyone. Just do yourself a favor and just do not share any article that talks about why Digimon is better than Pokemon.
You mean
it's just
the clickbait's gotten laser in the last few days. Some of them are like, why in the new movie are they going to lose their Digimon? We reveal the answer. It's like, motherfucker, you just watch the movie and are pasting one fucking line and turning that into a fucking article. That's a lazy amount of.
That's low bar clickbait.
But
I'm raising it just a little bit.
Yeah, I have it.
Stop writing articles about why Digimon is better than Pokemon, please.
Yeah, Digimon's better than Pokemon because the characters evolve. And there's substance, and it's a bit dark, and it teaches you about life because there's divorce, loss, blah, blah. I assume that's every fucking article you're talking about.
It's because they age the characters, and that's the only reason. That's literally the only reason.
The characters got to grow up, and that shows why, because Ash is a 10-year-older, which he always has been, and Pikachu's still a Pikachu. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Also, part of my pet peeve with this is because Lucas has been watching Pokemon a lot lately, and I was just watching. I've seen a bunch of Sun Moon episodes, and good God, those seasons are like amazing. Like that's my favorite.
They're hilarious.
My favorite thing of Pokemon ever is Sun Moon.
Yeah, every clip I've seen of that has been amusing to see.
It's really good. Lily is best girl.
At some point I need to watch those seasons. But so movie good, movie
love how,
out.
Like, Mimikyu is just like an eldritch abomination.
I love it. It's great.
We're gonna be here for 2 hours if you want to talk about the show.
I'd rather be talking about Pokemon than the direction the reboot's going in, but
we're past the reboot, AR. Watch the movie. We will be talking about it in future episodes without spoiler warnings. And listen to our cartoonishly long podcast that went shockingly well. And literally the only issue was when there were audio issues at the very end. And somehow I made the stream so resilient that it didn't even drop during the issues.
Those were most of that ended up being a comic. That was a funny audio issue we had. Also, I would point out that
did you listen to it?
Oh no, I didn't I didn't listen to the part where you said you might have.
Okay, so
some of it, but
so it cuts out, but they can still hear me. The stream, I'm still there. You guys are not, and I can't hear you guys either. When I realize it happens, because at first I thought it was just someone thinking or not responding, I'm like, oh, I should figure this out. Okay, I play with a few things, and then I can hear you guys again, and I'm looking at the audio bars, and I'm like, I don't think they can hear me, and the audio bar no longer shows mine going at all. And then when I'm checking the audio before putting it up, because I was trying to decide, was it possible to actually clip it, or was it just clean enough that it should just be left in, which I did. I realized there's a few times while they can hear you guys where you can hear me randomly going, can you hear me? Hello? So it just, at least it happened at the end. And considering how smoothly the show went, I will happily take that, I think.
I'll also point out that was, as long as we went Saturday, that was the typical length of a Saturday episode when we were.
Yeah, I laughed at that because we didn't even do any news. It was just talking about the movie and the audio drama.
Anyway, as you were saying before, we should move on.
Yes,
so we don't end up here for another 2.5 hours.
It's the audio drama.
Yay!
Yeah, Onke translated the whole thing. You can read it. It's great fun. You really should.
You can also read it without really needing any information. You don't have to have seen the movie.
No,
I would the audio.
I would recommend it after the movie though, because it feels like, while it does take place before, it feels like a kind of like a comedy cleansing of your palate, sort of.
Yeah.
And boys,
someone asked Saturday if they were making fun of the 02 kids. I'm like, no, these are who the 02 kids are.
Yeah, this is 100%.
It's just an encapsulation of the 02 kids.
Yeah,
that's why it's great.
There was so much battling in 02. You sometimes forget that they basically were parodies aren't the right word, but it's basically the Scooby-Doo gangs, basically.
They were just the idiot squad, and that's why we love them.
Yeah.
It's like
They are precious children.
The 02 kids and the Frontier 2 kid and the Frontier kids. Those are the cats that you just don't trust them with sharp objects because
Yeah. Yeah, and then we got a few interviews with movie out. Onkei translated the one with director Tomohisa Taguchi from the booklet. Some actually really good information in that one. That one is more detailed than these tend to be. He seems to be a very open director in general.
Yeah, that hit on a lot of. That's a good post movie interview.
Yeah, and
like once you've seen the movie.
Yeah, and then ANN put up an interview with producer Kinoshita, which they noted was done in April because delays.
Yeah.
Another good interview, not quite as detailed, but it was a nice short one. It confused a number of people who seemed to be under the impression Try didn't do well when he basically pointed out, yeah, it did good. They started doing more. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they'd put up a photo of him, though, so I didn't have to keep pulling up the same photos we have of him for 10 different articles. And then DigiNavi came back, sort of. In lieu of, and they didn't say they weren't going to do the big ones, but they'll be doing DigiNavi headline news monthly to do small little news updates. And I actually love this type of thing for just having little catch up, more so since properly subtitled for English speakers.
I was surprised at that.
I was half surprised because the last few real DigiNavis actually did have proper subtitles. And those were not short. So I figured if they did it there, they probably would do it here. But they also went over a few things for the US card game, which was nice to see. We got to see
Which would justify the subtitles if they're going to talk a US card game.
Yeah. A few new cards, which we'll go over later. A short interview with Kanako Hayashi, who's in charge of product planning for the Candy Toy division. Her going over the first series of Shoto figures, which was nice. Then we got Mimi narrating various happenings of the anime. And they announced the Part 4 LB Theater Shop will be this Friday. I get the feeling the pop-up theater stuff was thrown off more so than most of their stuff by COVID.
Oh, you have to think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's an in-person thing. That you know,
well, no. I mean the scheduling got thrown off insanely. Because they extended the Kazuna one by a month or two. Then they went to I can't say the name, Ojirami Doremi.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I know what show you're mangling it, but I know what you're talking about.
Which was supposed to have a movie out at the time, and then I believe there's another pop-up shop for that now, even though the movie still isn't out yet, which was probably meant to be the home video one. So yeah, they've pushed things around, so we will see. But I like that we're going to get the monthly little 6-7 minute news videos, hopefully with subtitles continuing, because that was great.
It's helpful too. Yeah.
And speaking of that pop-up shop, we get screenshots from the coveted Jogress Evolution, the 4th memorial story. And it's nice to see Sylphimon again.
Yeah.
We get to see a bit of digital world scenery, which is nice, and Vmon looks very nicely drawn there. I don't know why anytime I see that image I keep going, man, Vmon looks good there.
Yeah.
Adorable.
It's a different look from the movie, too. It's just completely detached from the movie, it would seem. So,
yeah. We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if it's something like they point out that it's a week or two earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure it ties in somehow.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so we'll see. And because people keep asking, no, they do not have plans to stream this. The current plan for, not including the first one, to Sora, the plan is they will show at the pop-up theater. Backers will get the Blu-ray, and at least at the moment, the plan is that is it. And some might go, well, they'll do them at some point. At some point, sure, but if you pay attention to this sort of... No, but I'm saying, if you pay attention to this sort of event, anime short, a lot of these we actually do never get, or they may pop up after years and years and years.
Yeah, I mean, look how long it took us to get a hold of, the 3D shorts that they had before, like Sabers and the Digimon Race one.
Yeah, well, those we only even got because they turned them into actual shorts for an event, for a theatrical event. Because that was ride footage, to be fair. That's a bit different, but like, in fact, I still don't think we ever got in the US the Son Goku and his friends return from Dragon Ball, the first new Dragon Ball thing they did in years.
We also never got any of the shorts that would play at well, not related to Digimon, but the Studio Ghibli short films that play at the museum. Those never get released anywhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, so someday will we get these? Probably, maybe, but it actually is possible that that disc is it. So we'll see. And then we have video game updates. So let's talk about Re-Arise first. It's the first anniversary of it in the US. The Kazuna Digimon are there. They translated the names this time. They got one wrong, but I give them credit for actually translating a name this time. And I actually wonder if that got confused because of War Greymon having the Brave Shield, which when you think when you think about it, that probably it was named that way because it works for the crest name also.
That's a stretch. I'm surprised that got. Yeah, that's still a fuck up.
I'm not saying it's not a fuck up. I'm just saying I wonder if that's why they.
That's it's one that you don't. I don't even want to try to speculate as to how they messed that up.
So that's why I speculated.
That's a Digimon fusion. That's beyond a Digimon fusion level.
Agumon.
Yeah, it's worse than that. Is what I'm saying.
And now we get to talk about everyone's favorite topic that we never have anything to say about. Digimon Survive. Habu actually tweeted something, and he said...
I called that a while ago, that Habu would just randomly tweet something, and we'd make a big fuss out of it. And it's probably
here's the thing. If I had the choice, I wouldn't have posted about it all, but realistically, someone was going to say something, so yes.
It's
nothing. He says nothing.
The event is newsworthy, even if the content isn't.
Habu's alive. That's about what new information we have.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was online speculation about that.
There was. People were like, has he passed? No. And I believe people were asking Volcano Oda at one point if Habu was dead. And Volcano was like, as far as I know, he's fine. Because
that's not
people were
either.
Because
Jeez.
people, so
your Poliomon.
Yeah. So the game system for Digimon Survive is being reviewed, and they're redoing the schedule. Everyone on the team is adjusting. They're in blah 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 blah. He's the producer. If he's allowed to say this much, that's when you release an actual announcement about a delay. This is like they don't want to announce a delay for some reason, and instead, I don't know what to say about this. This is nothing. I
guess it's the non-clarity is sort of clarity in itself, even though it doesn't get us anywhere. But it's like I like having some sort of confirmation from the inside that everything is kind of effed up right now.
But he doesn't even clarify that.
I read that as everything is effed up.
No, see, here's the thing. You could say it's effed up, or you could say they're reviewing the game system because they're done, and they're redoing the schedule for release and marketing. You could actually say that that's what he's saying if you wanted to. It doesn't mean it is, but what I'm saying is there's so little actual information there, it means almost anything you want it to. The game could be done, and they're just making sure it's good, and then they're going to announce the release schedule along with new marketing stuff. That could be it, or it could be everything's fucked up, they think the game's terrible, and they're trying to figure out what to do. It could be anything from everything's exploding or everything's amazing. It could be anything.
At least it's a comment. Like I'm just happy to hear anything, even if it's not anything, even if it doesn't really amount to much.
give them a false sense of hope, and then
Sure.
crush them dreams.
Or hell, a false sense of pessimism.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Then pleasantly surprise them by saying, then pleasantly surprise them by saying, yeah, it'll be in March.
Duke Nukem Forever came out successfully. That's what I have to say about it.
In a matter of speaking.
Yeah. And I absolutely did love that people the people most looking forward to Survive have no ability to handle anything negative about it being said, and it's kind of cartoonishly funny to watch because it's the same people who rant on a daily basis about everything else in the brand.
Well, are they the ones that are taking your positive spin on the, spinning this into a, hey, it's done type of way?
No. I'm just talking about where, like, the people who really don't like anytime I say anything mildly negative or jokey about it at all, it's the same people who stridently are upset about everything the brand does, except the game that kind of never looked that good in the first place. Disgaea 6 is out in 3 months in Japan. I mean,
which might be what you mean by reworking the game schedule.
Yeah, they may just be trying to avoid releasing near that because
it's basically the same thing with a Digimon skin, but not as good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the only reason we would be playing it is because it's Digimon.
Yeah. So here's
the reason we play most Digimon games, though. If let's be real here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Digimon Survive. We have confirmation that it appears to still exist. For now.
I'll take it.
Yep. And then the card game is chugging along. We've done a lot of previews lately, a lot of great art. We're not going to go over them all. Everything looks so nice lately for the card game.
The penguin is adorable. I love it.
Benmon.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were really happy.
I just love the curling mini game in Digimon World.
I forgot that existed, to be completely honest. I like the new Mimi card. The art looks better than the first one. There's too many cards to comment on, so the US booster, we got some news from it. They will be doing multiple packaging for it, plus include some alternate art cards as what they call a dash pack. I don't know why. Does it really need to be called a pack when there's only one inside?
I have no clue why you even call it a pack.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Could it be like a dash card?
You can charge more for it, though, if you call it a pack.
But it's included.
Uh-huh.
It's not for sale separately.
You're getting a good deal.
Yeah, so is that. Kokolo showed up for another episode of Fun Digica, which people are more and more excited to see these two when they show up, because I think they bring some good levity. And then Digimon Card Battle returns with Kokolo again and the Celebrity Invasion. I still do not know who this guy is. I thought for sure when I said, I have no idea who this is, someone would go, oh, you don't know who X is? Nope, no one said anything so far that tells me who this guy is. I tried using my tools, which couldn't read the name. Someone find out who this guy is and tell me. Because he seems very excited to be there. And we'll see 3 more of those. And then, a lot of product stuff this time. So, we got a Z2 intro from Mon Memo, which basically just reclarified the connecting stuff, which no real surprises there, I don't think. Because it's basically just what we were told last time. Just Garurumon related, basically. We got a folder continent report, which tells us a bit about Entmon. I don't know. I don't really like how Entmon looks, to be honest.
Well, they need something big and kind of creepy and sort of eldritch.
Yeah, has a nice creepy vibe. I like the tail having teeth, though. I like that. Then we got some interesting product updates. We got to see all the little store and specialty exclusives for the Blu-ray and DVD box. Those were less interesting than we finally got good images of all the Ichiban Kuji stuff, because most of these we only saw because that sales sheet that got put up in Australia by mistake. So we got to see much better images of all of these. We got to see the mystery keychain is going to be the classic Digivice and Crest. And the lucky one Omegamon, the last one Omegamon figure is, as expected, the Omegamon figure, but slightly darker. Many people seem shocked by this. This is, when I was looking up videos, that's all what almost every last one figure is. It's Goku, but his skin is slightly colored differently and his hair is more orangish.
She's got a new hat.
There's no new hat here, AR. How dare you? And then Graph Art will be selling a few adventure products. We get a clear file with new artwork. And hey, Sora has a properly sized neck this time. This feels like it's meant to be adventure, like new series specific profile art, doesn't it? Where it's not just the old ones with the new clothes.
Yeah, like the references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's meant to be new versions of those where they didn't just color over the clothes. The leather sticky post-it notes, I don't know why I like these so much. Like, the colors are even based on the Digimon rather than the crest to some degree. I say to some degree because they kind of trip up on Kabuterimon. Because it feels like these aren't the crest colors. It feels like they're the Digimon colors.
And probably because like Kabuterimon's more blue. So...
Yeah, and you already have Gurumon. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we also get can badges, which who doesn't love can badges, which I have none of. AR, you have can badges. How did these compare look-wise?
They're fine.
We get a little phone stand, a little pass holder. I like the acrylic stands. I wouldn't get one, but I actually do like them. It's one of those things where I don't get because I feel like if I get one, I will then have 100 of them within a month. So it's one of those things where I kind of want it, but I don't because
you'll hoard them.
Yeah. And then
kind of like my coworker in Funko Pops.
Yeah. And speaking of hoarding, at AGF they're doing a small limited base store, and they're going to have 28 of the Otadamas for Digimon.
I want them all!
Yeah. And then there's going to be 24 of those travel stickers, so I'm curious to see what the new ones are, because, I expect it's going to be the kids with the new show design. Because they point out that Vmon, Hawkmon, and Armadillomon will not be there. For sure. And yeah, that's it for products. Mostly. Look at this fancy new model kit. That was announced an hour before the show. I don't know why, but the dragon mode just makes me laugh for some reason. So it's Figure Eye Standard Amplified, Imperial Digimon, which they teased before. The fighter mode looks more Gundam-y than you'd expect. Because they've all had a slight hint of Gundam, but this one feels like a bit more so to me.
Yeah.
The dragon mode feels like, hey, if we make a few joints move, we can make this into a dragon. Because it doesn't really look right, does it? At least from the one shot we have.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Looks like the Lego interpretation of Imperial Digimon.
No. It's the what's the other brand? Not Mega Bloks. It's the Mega Bloks interpretation.
I'm not going that far. I'm not that mean.
I am.
Jeez.
But you're not that kind either.
Yeah, so
you can ridicule it. Just there's a line here.
Yeah, so it's in January for about $50. I actually like it. I think they kind of telegraphed a bit too much that it would be transformable when they sort of refused to say which mode it was, and they're like, there's going to be a surprise with this one, and everyone sort of went, oh, it's going to transform, neat. They need to not put...
Now I wonder if what everyone was expecting was better than the actual surprise and they had to adjust. It's like, oh crap. They think it's going to be adjustable. We need to make it.
Don't
transforming now.
Don't you insult Mega Block's Imperial Dramon. He's trying his best. He looks kind of like if you look at the picture, he kind of looks like a yippy dog. Yip, yip, yip.
This would be a lot funnier if there wasn't already a canon Lego version of the Digimon.
Don't tempt them. Don't tempt them. They're gonna make a really ugly version of Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode doing this.
I'm gonna call it Toy Imperial Dramon now.
Well, we have Omekamon, so maybe it's along the lines of
that. Hey, Omekamon that never did anything to harm anyone.
Yeah. And then I want
an Omekamon figure.
Yeah. And look, it's a motorcycle magazine. This is one of those where it's like, wait, what? In the November issue of MotoChamp magazine, Tenya Yabuno was interviewed about his work and the scooter he had when he was younger, which he compares to Zeromaru. And he did a nice little piece of art of Zeromaru as the scooter. And they're also giving away little shikishis with new artwork. And do we have anything else to say about this minus? It has very nice artwork.
I want it.
The scooter or the artwork?
Both, but especially the scooter.
And then speaking of art, we got some good art this time. So the character profile stuff we already had, we just didn't have it in high resolution, so we'll kind of skip that. It's just nice to see. The social art is a great image of Leomon, Spadamon, and Falcomon. I feel like
those three are squad goals. Yeah. Like that's great, that art of those three.
Am I wrong, or does Spadamon feel a bit goofier than the others?
I always imagine him being goofier than the others. Like, he's the lighthearted guy on the team.
And then Kenji Watanabe keeps knocking it out of the park, this time with the Leomon one. These have been crazy to get every week. It's just so nice. And then we also had Hiroko Harada comment, after recording, I'll die soon. Which is something for him to say after recording a Leomon episode. And then
you're never gonna go broke betting on a Leomon death.
Yeah. And it's not clarified if the response is from the staff member running the Twitter, who I believe is one of the producers, or if it was said to him. Mr. Harada, I won't let you escape so easily.
That just means they'll be recasting him as a different character soon afterwards.
Yeah.
Or they'll kill him, bring him back, and then kill him again.
Yep. Guess what? Yamato's dad's gonna appear right after that. So
yeah. So
keep you busy.
So we will see. You guys start thinking of questions in the chat while we do some of the prepared ones. The first one was someone asked. They mentioned that I had mentioned on Twitter putting together my own optical drive, and they didn't understand why I would do this when they're cheap and easy to get. Because a full-size one won't fit in my computer, which takes a slim drive. I was replacing the slim anyways, and I decided, I do this for a living. I should probably have an extra on hand that I can slot in at any time. So I just decided to get a nice enclosure, get a nice drive, tweak the firmware, and I just decided to do that rather than buy a pre-built one because I could pick the drive and everything. And then we get AR's beloved question. Dev, would you like to ask AR the question? I take that as a no.
This is where we find out whether Dev actually has notes pulled up.
Okay, ask AR the question, Dev.
How would AR do Digimon as a harem series?
So I love that you asked me whether or not we wanted to include this one because it might be trolling, and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to answer this.
Before you answer, can we go with my lazy answer I told you yesterday?
No.
Boo.
Because my lazy answer was just watch Frontier, because Frontier feels like a reverse harem at times.
See, I figured you'd want to hear my lazy answer before you do your nice one, because then people won't remember mine.
I think it doesn't matter. People won't remember it anyway. But
that's fine. Go ahead.
So I actually came up with two possible answers for how to do a harem series, because I realized that one of my OC ideas actually sort of was a reverse harem. The idea of having a girl gogglehead and having like the rest of the team be all boys that are, boys, and they're all kind of interested in her, but they're also really impressed by her and will fight for her and stick up for her at all costs, and they have this really cool dynamic going.
Isn't this just Frontier minus the impressed?
Oh, I thought I was being mean with that. You just really nailed Izumi on that one. Shame on you. No, my character is way cooler than Izumi and way more effective than Izumi was.
You're saying she's competent.
And doesn't lose her first battle.
Right. Yeah, she would win her first battle as she is the main character.
Didn't she also lose her second battle?
We're not, this is like the second straight episode we just decided randomly to rag on Izumi. I think she got
To be fair, your description did sound awfully close to Frontier. It felt necessary. So, sorry, go ahead, AR, with your, what else you had to say about it.
Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it's like, she's, the main character. She is the Gogglehead, and she gets respect for that. But yeah, the rest of the team is all guys and occasionally are, guys. But the other idea I had that just came to me the other, just like right before the podcast started, was if you're looking for a harem series with a main character that is a boy, I actually think about Hunters. And this is why I was looking at Hunters fanfiction right beforehand, because if you look at Hunters and how it's formatted and how it does have this kind of slice of life style to it, you do end up with a situation where Tagiru is shipped in the community pretty evenly between Taiki, Yu, and Ryoma. So you do have that weird harem dynamic going on with Tagiru. I'm sure, I would hope, completely unintended. But it's, if you do a thing where you kind of have a slice of life sort of style of series where you focus on, you sort of team Tagiru up with a different member of the harem every week, I think you can sort of have that effect going on and pull that off.
Your second answer wasn't lazy, it was. But it did. It works well enough.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't say it had to be a conventional Digimon series, and Hunters is in the canon, so yeah, do something like Hunters, only make it intentional.
Better.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Now, time for my joke answer. It's just Tenchi. Guy surrounded by girls, little cat thing that turns into a bigger cat thing that turns into a bigger cat thing and then turns into a spaceship. It's already all there. Although I guess it's a cat rabbit thing, not a cat thing. So close enough.
Rabbit.
But yeah,
I don't remember if I still have a Ryoki plushie in my car.
You just all you have to do is slap goggles on Tenchi and you're done. And change Jirai to be the digital world. That's all you got to do. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat, because that moved down. I missed. Damn it, Joe! You need to explain what the context of Ken. Oh, I think that was when we were talking about the audio drama. When he was talking about was Ken Scrappy do. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Ian has a good one. Is it still plausible to think Devimon is Takuru's fallen Angelmon? The final shot made it look like Angelmon's wings were breaking out of Devimon as if Takuru's presence was purifying. I don't think that's. It looked more like he was captured to me.
Yeah, I also never had that. I mean, I've heard that theory before. I never subscribed to that.
I think
that would be too clever for this writing team.
That's not clever at all. That's the most basic, lazy. The villain's secretly a hero who was corrupted when he was being that's not clever at all. That's so basic.
Yeah, no, it's even that is, I think, more.
No.
Team, like I wouldn't even give them credit for coming up with something like that.
No, that's at a level beyond the laziness we've
went
seen.
To like bondage.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
That is where we're at, discussing harems and everything. Someone wants. Okay, then someone asked.
Also, I just realized I literally did that exact same scenario in a fic once. So, but it was incorporated with other stuff. So.
Someone asked, I like to hear you guys talk about a movie in depth. Do you think you do that more? No.
Next time they have a
Yeah.
big budget release of a Digimon movie, I
Yeah,
suppose.
Yeah, because like, what are we gonna do? Get together once a month and just talk about a random movie, and there's no Digimon This movie is relevant to Digimon. I mean, I kind of did that with the lead up. I did that a lot, in fact, technically speaking. I just didn't talk about it much. But yeah, I don't imagine we'd do it. And then I don't know if we did. We got a lot of movie questions. I feel like it was because of the podcast and the last one and some Kazuna questions.
Probably.
We'll follow up on that next time. Also, gives DevQ a chance to talk about the movie.
Yeah, they're quite. One of the questions someone asked about the opinion of someone who's not only not on the podcast, it's not even May, it's someone who's never been on the podcast. They want to know if a specific person from WtW had an opinion on the movie. It's like, they're not on the show. I will speak to them and see if they want to say anything that we can say on the show, but otherwise yeah. And
is it someone whose opinion is worth talking about? Like is
Vandy.
Is like, it would be interesting to hear this person's opinion, or is it some random troll that you just want to, that everyone's just curious?
It's Vandy.
Morbid.
Vandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, England, so
I think she gave up and imported it, I think. Or
okay.
Or was planning to,
that's
might have.
The biggest obstacle out there.
When you said England, I thought you meant like time zone difference.
No, I mean that would be an issue too, but just the fact that,
because here's the thing, at least
England's getting hosed out of this release again, so I don't know how much. I don't know if she was able to watch the movie from jolly old Sheffield.
They were doing so well with Try. Like overall, they did. Like they had one a couple days before us. Most of them they had a week later. They were doing so well for once.
Confession to make. The only reason I said jolly old Sheffield was to see the look my wife would give me, and I got a really good one. So, really good.
To be fair, it helps that she's actually from Sheffield, Vandy.
So's my wife.
They're both going to kick your ass.
I'm really happy they cheer for the two different soccer teams there, so they can't gang.
It keeps them busy fighting each other if they knew each other. Okay,
I think they had a conversation on Twitter about that once, but anyway.
And then pseudo follow-up was movies this year have been slim. Have you seen any good ones? I feel like we answered a similar but not quite the same question a month or two ago.
Yeah, like that came out this year.
The one and only and best movie
Bill and Ted 3
with Sonic.
Bill and Ted, motherfuckers.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic was shockingly good.
I was gonna say Hamilton was the only new movie I think I've seen this year.
Hamilton was my original answer, but I decided, you know what? There was something just so joyful about seeing Bill and Ted that it was just. I was so happy. It was so good, and it was so fun to watch.
It's also kind of a cheat answer because I saw Hamilton in the theater last year.
I didn't pick Hamilton because I had seen it. Also,
it would be the second straight show because I talked about not to make a Hamilton reference in my Kazuna review.
You failed. You failed. We talked about Kazuna in this episode. You failed. I have to be honest.
I waited for it.
Hey, in a couple months we get to.
Well played.
I'm gonna skip the obvious joke and point out that in 2 months we can all see Soul, which I'm really looking forward to.
There you go.
Yeah. But you guys will have to see it yourself. You will not be able to be in the room where it happens, where I watch it.
No, that was better.
Hey, I'm stealing the damn joke. It's mine.
He tried.
Yeah.
I tried and failed, as I knew I would. I chose to go with it anyway.
Shot.
Boo! Oh no, that one's fucking terrible. That one's fucking terrible because that's worse than mine. That's worse than the episode title joke. You guys in the chat, you can have one more chance to throw in questions before we call it. But yeah, I'd say if you have, and here's the thing: if you haven't seen the first 2 Bill and Ted's, you can watch all 3, and they're bundled digitally and all good movies.
It's been so long since I saw any of them that I'd have to watch everything from the beginning to remember what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the only one I can say for sure I've seen is the second one. I'm not sure if I've seen the first one the whole way through. But yeah, I've seen Bogus Journey like several times.
To be fair, you can't really forget William Sadler as Death.
That's a factor.
Yeah, because like here's the thing: when I rewatched movie 1 a month before it, because I haven't rewatched the first 1 in years, I watched. I'm like, I'm shocked George Carlin isn't in this more. For some reason, in my memory, he's like a huge part of the movie, and he's maybe in it for 5 minutes.
That's because he's George Carlin, and any time he shows up, he's George Carlin.
Yeah. George Carlin was best in Dogma. As
he was really good in Dogma. Yeah.
I don't remember the priest's name, but he was A+ in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also liked when he was the hitchhiker in
Jane Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Smaller role there, but still with a certain punch to it, shall we say? He certainly.
No need to say more on that.
Fine, I will go ahead and not do the follow-up.
There are no questions in the chat.
Yeah, so we will call it there. We are back to the normal once a week. As we've pointed out, we will not be doing spoiler warnings in the future. We know not everyone has access to the movie, but there's a point where we sort of can't watch ourselves for so long. I think we did an awful job watching ourselves as long as some of us did. So we will catch you guys next time. But before then, AR, where can they read your harem series that you never wrote?
Oh, well, they can't because I never wrote it, but you can read my review of the new episode and Kizuna and hell, every other episode of the franchise at digimon.firstagent.net. Also on Twitter at firstagentarp. Sometime this week, assuming the tracking is accurate, I will have a live tweet of my wife watching Kizuna for the first time. So that will be entertaining as it always is.
And I would just like to note, and only do this before the live tweeting, message AR about how much you would like to see his Digimon Harem series come to life. But
I do have Fic commission on as a Patreon goal.
Yeah.
So if you give me money, I will write it for sure.
Give AR money, but I want to clarify to make sure to send the message before or after the live tweeting. Don't bother him with it during. Be polite. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read this week?
Digimon Battle Server. I'm feeling nostalgic, and I love that game. I love murdering my friend. And not knowing what anything was saying was because it was all in Korean.
As I recall, that was the Korean one that was an expansion of the Wonder Swan and Game Boy Advance fighting game, right?
No, actually, it was completely on its own. It
was
basically played like Worms.
Oh, it actually okay. I thought it played the same as it looks the same though, roughly. That's the one I'm thinking of, right?
They used a lot of the same sprites.
Okay, so it is okay. I thought it played the same, so it played like Worms, huh?
Yeah, you're basically like destroying each other and trying to basically drop the ground out from under them.
Okay.
And you could only move a certain amount of like paces.
Okay. Okay. I never knew that played like Worms. I thought it was just like a bad online fighting game. Now I get to know it's a bad Worms knockoff. Okay.
With fantastic music.
Yeah. And I can be found at With the Will, where we do all the Digimon news and annoy people who survive. And the best part, of course, is Dev is virtually by my side when I make these decisions. Dev, do you think this is mean? Make it meaner, Mark. Make it meaner. She goads me into it. So bother her on Wikimon about
I
it.
need my entertainment. I need my entertainment from somewhere.
Yeah, we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for showing up. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.